today I'm going to be teaching you the card spring. And I'm not just going to teach you one way to do the card spring, I'm actually going to teach you 3 different ways. Now this first one is going to be for the biggest card spring. And I'm going to do all this from a right-handed perspective. So now you're going to come over to the top of the deck with your right hand, taking your thumb and putting it on the bottom left corner. And then on the top right corner, you'll put your pinky and ring finger. Your ring finger will be along the top edge and your pinky will be along the right long edge. And then your middle and index finger will also be on the top short edge. So the overhead view should look like this. From the left side, it should look like this. And underneath side should look like this. Now, a lot of people think that the cards should bend down, but what you're actually gonna have to do is bend the cards toward your hand. Now, clearly you won't be doing it with your index finger, you'll just be applying pressure to bend it like that. The next thing to note is where the cards are actually going to be shooting off of, and it's going to be off of your thumb. Now before we actually start shooting cards, we need to know how to catch it so the cards don't go all over the ground. Now to be able to catch it, first take your left hand and move your pinky inward, because this is going to act like a stand. Now when the cards drop, they'll fall into your hand like this. So once you're in position, you'll then bend the cards up, and to start, make sure your hands are really close. Your first time, you're not going to start all the way out here. So start in really close and slowly spring them off your thumb. And more than likely, the first time it's not going to look like that, it's going to look more like this, where it's going to be kind of more springy. And just because going in spurts does not mean you're doing it wrong, that just means you haven't built up the strength yet. But once you get stronger, you should go from those spurts just to solid like this. Then you can start backing up a little bit, and eventually going from one side to the other. And this way specifically is going to be the best for distance because you're going to be using all of your fingers. Card spring variation number 2. This time is going to be a different grip where you're just going to be contacting it with your middle finger on the top corner and your index finger on the top. Your thumb will still be in the same position. Now, although the first way is better for distance, for me personally, I found that the second way is better for accuracy. But everything else is going to be the same and it's going to look just like that. And the card spring that you saw at the very beginning of this video, that's the version I used. And card spring variation number 3 is the sideways spring. So now take your favorite of the first 2 springs and we're going to use a variation of it. If your favorite is this first one, then you're going to slide your pinky down the side. And if your favorite is the second one, put your ring finger down the side. For me, I prefer it this way, so I'll be putting my ring finger down here. And as long as you're putting pressure here, instead of going from here to here, it'll actually turn in midair. So instead of looking like this, it should look like this. You'll notice that the cards went from here to here instead of going straight across. And if you want your springs to look even bigger, especially using the first 2 methods, then instead of just coming up and coming back down, start at the bottom, bring your right hand up, and then your left hand up to your right hand. And if you're looking to make your card springs look better on video, record it in slow motion or as many FPS as you can. Most cameras do 24, 30, or 60 frames per second, but if you have the ability to shoot in 120 or 240 frames per second, most definitely do that. Because honestly, it just looks crispy. But if you're still struggling with getting it out of the spurts phase, I'd recommend just getting thinner cards. How do you know which cards are thinner? This deck of cards specifically is printed on the same paper that bicycle playing cards is printed on, but it was actually crushed even thinner. Specifically so that beginner cardists and people who are having problems with that spurt to be able to do this move easier. And if you like these cards, you can pick them up right here or check out the review of them right there. Subscribe for more cardistry tutorials just like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is CPM, signing off.